Hello everyone, Maruko has successfully undergone surgery. I know everyone has been worried, but now you can rest assured. The steel plate in its leg has been fixed, and the Achilles tendon and muscles have been stitched up. Although it has not yet woken up from anesthesia, everything is fine. It's really tired, so let's let this little guy rest well. Maruko is about to wake up, and this child has successfully survived the surgery. I didn't see its plight when it was wandering, but I have seen its strength now. Many people may think it easily bears its current injuries and diseases, but that's not true. We haven't seen its crying in pain during the nights of its wandering days. Fortunately, all the hardships are about to pass, and this child is now saved. Although the surgery was difficult, the outcome was good. I am now accompanying it until the effects of the anesthesia wear off. I believe that as long as we don't give up, we can overcome setbacks. Keep it up! Once, we tested Maruko for skin disease. Dr. Wu said that the severity was worse than what we could see with our eyes, so we did a scraping test and then used a microscope to determine. Under the microscope, the parasites were nowhere to hide, which was terrifying. So many parasites crawling on its body, how could it bear it? I rushed to the hospital early in the morning to see Maruko. This child was found by a local sister, who then notified Brother Tao, and I rescued it to the hospital. After a series of examinations, we immediately started the surgery. This child's leg bone was broken, and a steel plate was installed during the surgery. The Achilles tendon and muscles were also torn, and it had severe sepsis. Every time it sees me, it wags its tail. Actually, it understands that I saved it, so it's very happy to see me. You treat it well, and it understands, just can't speak. Looking at Maruko, I feel that only after surviving a disaster do we realize the fragility of life. Only after escaping from great danger do we understand the awe of life. Maruko, having survived the disaster, is surely an extraordinary stray dog. Everything has its time to pass. I believe that everything has cracks, which let the light in. Maruko's surgery was successful, but it needs to be cleaned and disinfected in the hospital for a few days. Although it's still a bit painful, it will pass if it endures a bit longer. Maruko, I want to tell you, we must live well, live to show those who hurt you, and live to show those who help and care for you. You are a miracle, you are the best. Good news for everyone, Maruko can eat now, and eats quite a lot. This child, from being found, to being rescued, to the hospital, and then to the examination and surgery, although there were many risks in between, everything has welcomed the sunlight. It has endured and now truly survived. I know many family members have been worried about it, but now the stone in everyone's hearts can be put down. Now, watching Maruko eat and drink, I feel so relieved. Fate is like this, life lays down hardships here, and will surely scatter fragrance somewhere else. Continuing to accompany Maruko, this child's surgery was too big. Fortunately, its legs were not amputated in the end. Although the surgery was expensive, both legs were saved. Thankfully, a sister found it and notified Brother Tao, otherwise, I don't know if it could have survived. Dr. Wu and 2 other doctors judged that its wounds were at least 2 to 3 days old. I don't know how it endured such serious injuries for 2 or 3 days. Luckily, the surgery was timely, a few days later, and it might not have survived. Such serious injuries cannot recover overnight. It's said that it takes 100 days to recover from bone and muscle injuries, so it doesn't want to move much now, quite weak. The surgery was complicated, the wound too large, and it took 3 doctors to save its legs. Stray dogs like Maruko are like little grasses. They can be weak but also very strong. These lovable furry children are always in an unnoticed corner, silently composing their own song of life. Many people think that stray dogs don't need care and comfort, always treating them as strong, but that's what you think. They are strong because they lock their tears in their eyes, only they understand their inner pain. I came early in the morning to see Maruko. As soon as I arrived at the hospital, Dr. Wu told me that he had already helped Maruko's leg, which had a splint, to be fitted with an aluminum plastic plate. Maruko's leg fracture may have been uncomfortable because it was just fitted with steel screws, so it kept touching the ground with that leg. Dr. Wu was worried that it might further damage the leg bone, so he decided to use an aluminum plastic plate. Maruko is very weak, so we also tested its stool, which showed it was full of worm eggs. It was terrifying. If these eggs were to hatch, it would be too horrible, and Maruko's body might not be able to withstand it. Thankfully, we caught it in time and have started medication. I am really worried but hopeful for its recovery. Today, I came to pick up Maruko from the hospital. When it was rescued, its injuries were severe, but now there are no major concerns. Currently, it's in the postoperative recovery phase, dealing with skin disease and a large number of parasites in its body. This child has had a hard life, but it won't be hard anymore. Our rescue team will take good care of it, and family members can rest assured. I want to show family members Maruko's condition after being discharged from the hospital. Every time Maruko sees me, its tail wags back and forth. When it was discharged, Dr. Wu had fitted it with a splint. Its leg bone was fractured, and several steel screws and plates were inserted during surgery. The injuries were too severe when it was rescued, and it took 2 to 3 doctors to complete the surgery. Before the splint was fitted, it always used that leg to support its body, so we were also worried that it might split the leg bone. The stitches at the wound site were also removed when it was discharged. Now we are disinfecting it. I don't know where Maruko's home is, where its owner is, or what it went through to end up in such a state. How helpless it must have been then. These wandering furry children's happiness is visible to others, but who can feel the pain in their hearts? They are just too innocent and naive. Dogs are like that. If they like you, they will make the unreasonable reasonable. Some people make the decision to abandon their dogs in just a minute, but they have to regret that minute for a lifetime. Cherish and appreciate the time with your dogs, people who have them. Let me show family members Maruko's current condition. It's fine now, can eat and drink, just its leg is still a bit swollen, but it will gradually recover. Its injuries were too severe when it was rescued, with several fractures in the leg, torn muscles and tendons, but thankfully the surgery went smoothly. Now Maruko has also been discharged. Currently, the goal is to strengthen its nutrition. Every day, I prepare different nutritious meals for it, hoping it will recover soon. Maruko, having experienced such turmoil, is like a child who has gone through a storm. I believe this child will be reborn from the ashes, and we will take care of these furry children step by step. Believe that the dreams of the wise are not as good as the footprints of the fools who work hard. Maruko's eyes are getting more and more mucus and tear stains. It must not have eaten or drunk during its days of wandering, suffering from severe malnutrition. I have to wipe its eyes several times a day. Since being rescued, it has also learned to cry. Sigh, besides feeling heartbroken, I feel helpless. Maruko's injuries were not only severe, but its skin disease was also not to be ignored. In the hospital, Dr. Wu used scrapings and a microscope to test the skin disease. We didn't know how severe it was until after the test, and I and the doctor were shocked. Its body was full of live bacteria and tiny parasites, densely packed. It must have been so uncomfortable with so many parasites gnawing at its bones, but I believe, after this, Maruko has grown.